Turn 5,000 a year into a multi-million dollar Roth IRA for your children or grandchildren. What if I told you the IRS just created a retirement account that lets grandparents, employers, charities, and even total strangers put up to $5,000 a year into an investment account for any child under 18, and the child doesn't need a job, doesn't need earned income, doesn't need to be related to you? And what if I told you that the federal government is depositing $1,000 free into that account for every child born between 2025 and 2028? No application, no income test, no paperwork beyond a single form. And that if you fund the account for 17 years and convert it to a Roth IRA at 18, your kid could retire with $2 to $8 million of tax-free money. It's called a Trump account. It went live on July 4, 2026. Most parents haven't opened one yet. Most grandparents don't even know it exists. And the IRS is not really advertising it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, why the math is absurd, and the 6-step playbook to turn a $5,000 annual starter into a multi-million dollar Roth IRA for your child or grandchild. Let me tell you about a family I set across from last month. We'll call them the Harrisons here in Indianapolis. A 4-year-old son, a baby on the way, due in November. Dad runs a small manufacturing business. Mom is a nurse practitioner. They make good money. They max out their 401ks. They have a will. They have a term and some whole life insurance. They are, by every measure, doing the responsible things. And when I asked them what they were doing for their kids' futures, here's what they said. We have a 529 with about 30,000 in it for our son. The baby will probably get one too eventually. I asked them to do the math with me. 30,000 at 529 plus 200 a month in contributions for the next 14 years at 6% average return. The total at college age is roughly $80,000. That's maybe 2 years, 3 years of in-state tuition at IU. It's not a retirement account. It's not a house down payment. It's not a Head Start. It's a partial scholarship. And here's the part that stopped them in their tracks. When I told them that the new baby, the one due in November, qualifies for a free $1,000 from the U.S. Treasury if they file one form. They looked at each other. Why didn't our CPA tell us? That's not a criticism of their CPA. CPA firms don't have bandwidth for brand new investment programs. They file last year's tax return. They don't proactively plan next year's wealth. But the IRS just opened the door to a brand new account that's specifically designed to fill the gap between when your kid is born and when they get their first job. An account where the kid doesn't need earned income, an account where the government gives you $1,000 free, like it or not, an account where the growth is tax deferred for 17 years can be converted to a permanently tax-free Roth at age 18. And almost nobody is using it yet. The Harrisons decided on the spot they're opening accounts for both kids the day the new baby gets a Social Security number. The baby born this year gets $1,000 federal seed money. Their 4-year-old doesn't qualify for the seed money because they're born before the 2025-2028 window, but they can still open the account and fund it for 14 years of compounding. By the time their son turns 18, the math says his account could reach $115,000 to $150,000. By the time the baby turns 18, the math says the account could be $150,000 to $200,000. The full 17 years of compounding plus this $1,000 seed. Both ready to convert to a Roth IRA in their lowest earning years and compound tax-free for the next 40 years. That's not a college fund. That's a generational wealth transfer. I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same thing for your family in the next 20 minutes. So, what is a Trump account? Let's start with the basics. A Trump account is a new type of IRA created under the One Big Beautiful Bill that's the federal tax bill that passed in 2025. It was added to Section 530A of the Internal Revenue Code. That's the same section of the code that governs Coverdell educational savings accounts. The account is purposely built for kids under 18. Here's how it works. Eligibility. Child needs a valid Social Security number and must be under 18 on December 31 of the year the account is opened. Each child can have one Trump account. Who can open it? A parent, a legal guardian, adult sibling, or grandparent in that priority order. How to open it? File IRS form 4547 with your tax return, or much faster, go to TrumpAccount.gov. Takes 5-10 minutes. Log in with ID Me, complete the form, and you're done. That's what the government says. Free $1,000 seed. If your child was born between January 1, 2025, December 31, 2028. U.S. citizen, valid Social Security number. Federal government will deposit $1,000 free money. You must have to opt in by checking box on Form 4547. This is the most generous thing Congress has done for families in decades, and almost no one is talking about it. Contribution cap up to $5,000 per year combined from all sources: parents, grandchildren or grandparents, employers, the child charities. Employer contributions are capped at $2,500 of the total. The federal seed does not count towards the cap. The default investment, until you change it, contributions are invested in broad low-cost U.S. stock index mutual fund, or ETF. You don't need to pick a stock. You don't need to be a financial advisor. You don't need a prospectus. Growth period, from the day you open the account through the end of the year your child turns 17. After that, the account becomes a traditional IRA and follows normal IRA rules. That's the mechanics. Now let me show you why it matters. Here's the 6-step playbook. The single biggest mistake families make is treating this like a someday thing. Every year you wait is a year of compounding you never get back. Here's the math. If you fund the account at the full $5,000 per year, and we use a long-term average U.S. equity return of 7%, 5 years of funding, 13 to 17, it's $30,000 at age 18. 10 years of funding, 8 through 17, it's $70,000 at 18. 13 years of funding, that's $100,000 at age 18. 17 years of funding, $150,000 to $200,000 at age 18. President Trump, speaking at the Trump Accounts Summit, projected that the typical accounts should reach at least $50,000 by age 18, could be 100, 200, or even 300 per child. 300,000, that is. The difference between opening at birth and opening at age 10 is roughly $60,000 to $80,000 in lost balance. That's the cost of waiting, and that all varies on the compounding. If you're expecting a baby before December 31, 2028, you have a runway. The baby will be born inside the eligibility window. You open the Trump account within days of getting their Social Security, file Form 4547, opt in to get the $1,000 seed money, and you're done with the most important step. If your child was already born 2025, 28, same logic applies. Open it now, opt in, capture the seed money before the birth year window closes in 2028. The window is 4 years wide. It doesn't extend. If your child was born 2029, they don't qualify. The mechanics here in plain English. Eligibility. Children under 18 with a valid Social Security number. One Trump account per child. Election. File Form 4547. Go to TrumpAccounts.gov. Take 5 to 10 minutes. Seed money. $1,000 federal deposit. Opt-in required. The default investment is low-cost U.S. stock index, mutual fund, or ETF. If your child was born 25, 28, or is on the way, this is the most important 10 minutes you'll ever spend on their financial future this year. Step 2, fund consistently. The $5,000 annual cap sounds like a lot. It's not. $5,000 a year is roughly $417 a month, less than most families spend on takeout and streaming combined. The power of the Trump account isn't any single contribution. It's in the consistency. Set up automatic monthly contributions the same way you set up a mortgage payment. Out of sight, out of mind, out of the temptation to skip a month. The IRS designed the growth period to be a hands-off for a reason. Broad U.S. stock index funds, low fees, no trading, no crypto, no options. You open it, you fund it, you let it compound. It's very simple. The biggest mistake? Stopping contributions after a bad quarter. The 2008 dip, 2020 dip, 22 dip, stock market dips, these were buying opportunities. They always are. The discipline isn't the money. The discipline is showing up every month for 17 years without quitting. The Roth IRA crossover. This is the big one. Once your kid hits age 18 with 100,000 in the Trump account, converts it to a Roth IRA in their 12% bracket, that compounds that balance at 8% for 40 years. The math is this: 100,000 times 1.08 times 40, 2.17 million. 200,000 starting balance, same math, 4.34 million. And that's before the next step, which I'm saving for step 3. And here it is, step 3: pay your kids. This step is for the business owners watching. CPA Mark Kohler, very popular YouTube channel, has been teaching the strategy for 2 decades. He calls it a manufactured tax write-off. Here's how it works. You pay your child for legitimate work in your business, modeling for marketing materials, helping with social media filing, organizing inventory, labor, learning a trade, real work, documented and reasonable. 3 things happen. 1, you deduct the wages as a business expense, lower taxable income, lower tax bill today. 2, your child pays little or no income tax. The 2026 standard deduction for a single filer is high enough that a kid can earn roughly $14,000 a year and owes no federal income tax. 3, you redirect the wages into the Trump account. They compound tax deferred for the next 17 years. You just took a real business deduction and funded your kid's future with the money the IRS never collected. The math: a $2,500 annual wage to your 12-year-old for social media work. You save roughly $500 to $1,000 in federal taxes. Your kids owe zero. $2,500 compounds for 6 years before they're 18. The conversion tax on that base at age 18 is zero. After tax dollars never get taxed again. If you're a business owner and you're not paying your kids for real work, this is the single biggest tax move on your family's table. The rules to keep you safe. The work has to be real, not modeling and name only. Real duties, real hours, real output. The wages have to be reasonable. A 10-year-old doing social media work isn't $80,000 a year. The IRS knows this. Document everything: job description, timesheet, payment records, the work itself. The Trump account contribution cap is $5,000 a year. Combined parents, grandparents, employers, child employer contributions are capped at $2,500 of that $5,000. For an S corp or partnership owner, this works even better because you can pay W-2 wages to the child through payroll. The deduction flows cleanly on the business return. It works for grandparents who own businesses too. If grandma has the LLC and grandkids want summer internships, the same rules apply. The deduction and the Trump account funding both happen. Step 4, convert to a Roth IRA. This is the step that turns tax-deferred growth into tax-free growth. And it's the entire reason the Trump account works. When your kid turns 18, the Trump account transitions into a traditional IRA. Most parents here convert to Roth and panic because they assume the conversion triggers a massive tax bill. For a Trump account, it doesn't. Individual contributions to a Trump account are made with after-tax dollars. That's money you already paid income tax on. When your kid converts the account to a Roth IRA at age 18, the IRS only taxes the earnings and any pre-tax contributions, like the $1,000 federal seed money. The after-tax contribution base is not taxed again, and the conversion is taxed at your child's tax bracket, not yours. Let me give you the math. Your 18-year-old converts $50,000 in a year when their only income is a part-time job paying $8,000. Their taxable income for the year: $8,000 earned plus $30,000 conversion earnings, $38,000. Their federal bracket, 12%. Tax bill in the conversion is $3,600. For $3,600, your kid just moved $50,000 into a permanently tax-free Roth IRA. Every dollar of growth from that point is never taxed again. Withdrawals in retirement, tax-free. Inheritance to your grandkids, tax-free. The smart move, don't convert it all at once. Chunk the conversions across ages 18 through 22, college years, gap years, early years, when earning income is low. Fill up the 12% bracket each year without spilling into higher rates. Each conversion locks in tax-free growth for life. 40-year compounding at 8% on 100K. Starting balance equals 2.17 million. 40-year compounding at 8% on 200K starting balance, 4.34 million. This is what Mark Kohler calls the $8 million Roth IRA, and it's not a fantasy number. It's compounding math with realistic inputs. The IRS doesn't care how big the Roth balance gets. The earlier kid converts, the bigger the tax-free number at the end. Step 5, self-direct. Once the balance is in a Roth IRA, you have more flexibility. A self-directed Roth IRA can hold normal assets, but also alternatives like real estate, private business investments, promissory notes, assets you might actually understand better than Wall Street. For a family that knows real estate, this is where Roth IRAs get interesting. For a family that owns a business, the child can become a passive investor in a deal the family understands. For a family that doesn't want to think about it, a total U.S. stock market index fund for the next 40 years will produce millions. The work happens in steps 1 through 4. Step 5 is patience. The mistake to avoid, trying to outtrade the market. Self-direction is not day trading. It is putting money into assets you understand, holding them for long term and letting tax-free compounding do the heavy lifting. Step 6, leave it alone. The hardest step, because we're human, almost is also the simplest. Do not withdraw the money from the Roth IRA when your kid turns 18 to help with college expenses. Use the 529 for that. The Roth IRA, once converted, is a retirement vehicle. Its power is the 40-plus year compounding runway. Do not cash out the Trump account balance for a first car or a wedding or a down payment. Every dollar you take out of the tax-free bucket is a dollar that no longer compounds for retirement. The families who win with this strategy treat the Trump account and the Roth IRA the way they treat their own 401k, invisible, automatic, and it's off limits. You can spend the next 17 years worrying about your kids' college fund and their wedding and their first car. Or you can spend the next 17 years not worrying because you open the account, the one account, set up automatic contributions, paid your kid for real work if you own a business, and let the math do what the math does over time. That's the whole playbook. Here's the hierarchy. Before I get to the objections, let me show you where the Trump account fits in the broader family savings picture. These accounts are not competitors. They are all tools for different jobs. The hierarchy that works for most families would be the Trump account at the top, open it now, capture the federal seed if eligible. 529 plan for educational expenses. Roth IRA, once a kid has earned income, summer job, family business wages. That's next. UGMA, only if you want flexibility. Flexible spending money for your child. You don't pick one, you stack them. So here's a bonus trick for most families that don't know about. The Secure Act lets you roll up to 35K of leftover 529 money into your kid's Roth IRA. Over the lifetime, it's subject to 3 rules. 529 must have been open for at least 15 years. Beneficiary must have earned income in the year of the rollover, and the rollover cannot exceed that year's Roth contribution. If you overfund a 529, you can shovel the excess into a Roth IRA that compounds tax-free for the rest of their life. That's a powerful bridge for families who got aggressive with college savings. So let me handle the objections I hear every week, monthly. This sounds too good to be true. Well, it's not. The Trump account, Section 530A of the Internal Revenue Code. The IRS opened the portal at TrumpAccounts.gov on July 4, 2026. This is a federal program, not a pitch. The Vanguard research team has written about it. The Wall Street Journal has written about it. CPA Mark Kohler has built an entire video around it. It's real. But I'm not wealthy. Can I really do this? Yes. Parents, grandparents, employers, charities. Anyone can contribute regardless of income. The 5,000 cap is the same whether you're earning 50,000 a year or 5 million a year. The free 1,000 federal seed has no income test. This is the most democratic wealth building tool Congress has created in decades. What if my kid doesn't go to college? It doesn't matter. The Trump account is a retirement account, not an education account. It converts to a Roth IRA age 18, regardless of what your kid does after high school. The college path is what 529s are for. Retirement path is what the Trump account is for. They serve different jobs, different tools. What if I can't afford 5,000 a year? Then fund less. 100 a month is 1,200. 200 a month is 2,400 a year, or even less than that. The point isn't the amount. The point is start the clock ticking and being consistent. Even partial funding maintained for 17 years produces a meaningful balance at age 18. What if the market crashes right after I open it? Been through this. Uh, then you bought low. The 2008 dip, 2020 dip, 2022 dip, every one of those was a buying opportunity. The Trump account is designed for 17-year compounding. Short-term volatility is just noise. Long-term compounding is the signal. This is too complicated. Open the account is 10 minutes at TrumpAccounts.gov. The funding is automatic. The conversion at age 18 is a one-time decision with your tax advisor. The hard part isn't the complexity. The hard part is starting and keeping with it. What if Congress changes the rules? That's possible. Tax law changes all the time, but the Trump account is built into Section 530A of the Internal Revenue Code, and the contributions already made are grandfathered. Even if the rules tighten the money already and the account continues to compound under the original terms. The risk of waiting is greater than the risk of starting. So the bigger picture, let me zoom out for a second. Most of the families I work with are doing well. They're not struggling. They're not in crisis. They're just not building generational wealth. They have a 401k, they have a Roth IRA, they have a house, own a business, they have a 529, and when they retire, they'll be fine. But their kids will start adult life in the same hole their parents dug out of. Student debt, no compounding, no tax-free bucket. A Roth IRA limit is 7,500 in 2026. That's a rounding error compared to what disciplined early funding can produce. The Trump account changes that. It's the first retirement account in U.S. history designed specifically for kids whose parents don't work on Wall Street, don't have a family trust, and don't have a financial advisor on speed dial. It's for the family in Indianapolis or anywhere in the country with two kids, a mortgage, a 529 that won't cover half the tuition. It's for the grandparents in Fort Wayne or Dallas who want to leave more than an inheritance. They want to leave a head start. It's for the small business owner on Main Street who's been running payroll for 15 years and never thought to put their kid on it. The mechanics are simple. The math is very boring. The result is not. You open one account, you set up automatic contributions to pay your kid for real work if you own a business. You let it compound for 17 years. You convert it to a Roth IRA in your child's lowest earning years. You leave it alone for 40 years. And when your kid is 60, they have a tax-free Roth IRA worth $2 to $8 million, and they're really going to need it. That's not a college fund. It's not a down payment. That's generational wealth built by ordinary families using a tool the IRS just gave them. Most families will never use it. Be the family that does. If you've watched this video this far, you already know whether this is right for your family. Two ways to go from here. First, if you want the full playbook, the 7-page Trump account playbook guide with all the 6 steps, the Roth conversion math, the manufactured write-off mechanics, the secure 2.0529 to Roth rollover trick, and the projection tables, click below. There's a free download of the PDF. Second, if you want to walk through your specific family situation, your kids' ages, your business structure, your tax bracket, your existing 529, and map out an actual plan. You can use our Trump calculator. The link is below. If you'd like a detailed plan, multiple scenarios, action plan, help implementing this for your children and grandchildren, schedule a strategy session below. If the calculator shows you have a real opportunity, and most families with kids under 18 do, the next step is a strategy session. We'll spend 30 minutes on your numbers, no pitch, no pressure, just a plan you can execute this year. If you don't want to use the calculator, just get a strategy session and we'll help you. I'm Mike Wright with Foresight Wealth Advisory in Indianapolis. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.